Please stand for the reading of the word. Our reading comes from Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. At the home of Martha and Mary. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, but only one. Martha has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
You may be seated.
What's love got to do? What's love but something can be born? What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Who gets a heart when a heart can be broken?
I knew it was going to hit one week after sometime during this month. I knew that song was coming for sure, for sure. So, the sermon title is Be in the Moment. Bottom line for this week is love others with your time. I talked briefly with Tim, just for a minute this morning, and I told him that this week's sermon has probably been one of the hardest sermons I've ever written. I struggled all week with this thing. I was still rereading and erasing stuff and writing stuff in last night. Even this morning, I reread it, I got here, I opened my laptop, I reread it, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad, you know? Because I tried very hard to do sermons that are something that I live into, that I genuinely try to live into on a daily basis. Being in the moment is, it's hard. It's just hard. I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, it's just hard. I'm constantly, like now, I'm already thinking about the trustee meeting that's after, and then I have groceries waiting for me at Kroger's. I mean, I'm already 4 steps ahead trying to figure out, right? Be in the moment. What does that mean, be in the moment? I'm not even sure. Thursday, I got the opportunity. My son calls me, and he calls me quite often, which I love. But he called me probably last Monday. And usually, when the conversation starts out like this, "What are you doing on Thursday?" Right? Yeah, see, truth. Not the only one, right? So when your kid calls you, and it's like, "Hey, how you doing? What are you doing?" Then it's like, "Oh, this is going to be a good conversation." Well, when they start the conversation with, "What are you doing?" right? Somebody wants something. So somebody wants something, right? So I said, "I don't know, I'll have to give me a minute." So, I'm driving when he calls me. So I'm all the kids left, right? Are there teenage drivers in here? If there's teenage drivers in here, plug your ears right now. Don't do this. So I'm driving. I got him through my car. My calendar's on my phone. So I'm pushing buttons, and I don't do that. But so I check my calendar, and I'm like, I think, I got some some stuff, but I could probably, why? What do you need? Well, I have a meeting, and we need somebody to babysit Hobby. Cool. When you get past the what are they trying to angle for, because if they want help moving or doing painting or something, I got stuff to do. But if you want me to spend the day with my 8-month-old grandbaby, I'm on it. I will rearrange everything, right? So I got to go down Thursday morning. I left at like 6, was it 6:30? I'm pointing at
7
hours. Was it early?
It was 7.
Was it 7?
Yeah.
I left at 7. I stayed at the Bow. Okay, if you ever need a place to stay, Camp Hedgehog, I highly recommend it. Okay. But she let me camp out there because of the weather being bad on Wednesday night. So I left early, went to Columbus, spent the whole day, got to spend the night, just got to play. We missed nap time, and it was awesome. And for me, not so much for mom and dad when they got home from work, but it worked out. But even in the moments when he was playing and he was preoccupied by whatever toy was making noise, I still struggled with looking at my phone, making sure that I had everything done that Melissa needed for today, right? Because I'm still making sure, even when I have this absolutely beautiful 8-month-old kid that I don't get to see very often, it's 2.5 hours, which isn't horrible, right? There were still moments I couldn't just be in the moment. I had to be checking my phone. I had to be making sure that I was checking my email and making sure, because if I don't do something, then Melissa can't do something. And if she can't do it, then it doesn't get done. And you see how that trickle-down effect, right? And I'm sure I'm the only one in this building that ever has to worry about that sort of thing. You guys all live in the moment every day, right? Right? You're not planning for tomorrow. You're not planning for the, right? Priority. I looked that word up in the dictionary, and I really liked it. It said something given or meriting attention before competing alternatives. All right. I think Luke uses this story of these two sisters. He wants it to be a teachable moment. Mary and Martha both loved Jesus. On this occasion, they were both serving him. But Martha thought Mary's style of serving wasn't the right way to serve. She didn't realize that in her desire to serve, she was actually neglecting her guest. Are we so busy doing things for Jesus that we're not spending any time with Jesus? Don't let your service become self-serving. Jesus did not blame Martha for being concerned about the household chores. He was only asking her to set priorities. Service to Christ can interfere and can create busy work that's totally devoid of the devotion to God. We get so wrapped up in the doing that we forget why we're doing it. Give me a moment. Something's over there. I can't step on it. It's bothering me. I apologize. Okay. Sorry. Jesus affirms Martha's right to do what she was doing. Right? He doesn't scold her in any way. Martha welcomed him into her home. Characteristic of their hospitality of the time. lady or mistress, an Aramaic word, as in the lady of the house. Her name fits her personality. She's responsible, she's serious, maybe even a little intense. Now Mary, her sister, appears to be quite the opposite. When Jesus arrived, Mary sat at his feet to listen to his teaching, a position normally reserved for official disciples of a teacher, never for a woman. Martha, energetic, responsible host. Mary, the attentive, conscientious listener. With these two divergent personalities in the center of a bustling social situation, with tasks to be done, the scene was set for conflict. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have two sisters. They're older than me. They're the two oldest in the family, and then there's 3 boys, and then me, right? My sisters, Holly and Kim, couldn't be, you can't get farther, without looping back around, they're so different. And they're just different in every way. Every way. And so much to the point that when I was growing up, I grew up, because they're 16 and 15 years older than me, I grew up very much living a life where I almost felt like I had, you know those cartoons where you have the angel and the devil on your shoulder? Right? They're constantly like, ooh, that looks like fun, you know? But my mom, that's how she kind of tried to keep me in line, was be like Holly, don't be like Kim, don't your sister Kim, she's in trouble. She was, but you know what, being more like Kim sometimes was a little more fun. Right? So we know sisters, right? We know that sometimes when we get together and you have two conflicting personalities, that sometimes things can bubble up. I'm sure it doesn't happen at the Lipskis, but because Teresa's much too sweet to be in.
I'm not.
That's what I figured. That's the way that's the way I was going. So, she heckles me, so it's all right. Right? So Mary is soaking up, right? She's soaking up the Lord's teaching. And Martha is she's just running around trying to make sure everything's done. And she's so distracted by what she feels her job is, because she wants everything perfect, right? You have guests over, you want to make sure that the food tastes good and that it looks good and the table's set right. And when the one person who you think is supposed to be helping you is out with the guest, talking and having fun and cutting up and carrying on, you know in the kitchen your hair's on fire, right? Sometimes we focus on the tasks instead of focusing on the relationship and the time that we could be spending with our guests. Martha's problem was that she was paying so much attention to preparations that she stopped paying attention to the guests. She was feeling overwhelmed by the burden of hosting. And it caused her to lash out at two people who didn't really deserve it. She accused both Mary and Jesus for really not caring about what she was doing and all the hard work that she was going through. She expected Jesus to kind of be on her side, right? Because she goes in and she says, it says she was distracted by all the preparations. She says, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Now, if you've ever had children, you know that at some point one has come to you and said, Mom, so-and-so is not helping me do the dishes, or so-and-so, I can't do my part of the job until so-and-so does them. Tell them to help me, right? But what he says to her is, he says, you're worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed, only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken from her. What Martha was doing, what her service was, there was nothing wrong with that. It wasn't that she was doing anything wrong. It's that sometimes we allow the busy work to get in the way of true relationship and being in that moment. Here are two different people trying their best to do their best for someone who they believe is the Messiah. I can see both sides of this. If Jesus walks into your house, you want everything to be perfect, right? Because I know when my mom comes over, oh, it better be right? Because you don't want her saying, no, don't give her any ammunition, right? We all have that person or those people in our lives that we always try to have everything perfect, right? The table's got to look perfect, right? Jesus was in their house. Martha wanted everything to look and be perfect. That was her way of showing how much she loved him. That wasn't Mary's way. Mary's way was to sit at his feet and just soak up everything that he said. Can you imagine the opportunity to sit at Jesus' feet and soak up all that he was teaching and all that he was sharing? Neither were right or wrong, per se, not 100%, right? We just all look at life differently. But in this moment, Jesus let Martha know that sometimes we need to be in the moment. Order pizza, right? Get some paper plates and some napkins. Order some pizza, right? It's a DoorDash. You can order just about anything now, right? Order the food in. Who cares? Spend the time. Spend the time with the people that you love. Live in the moment. Make spending the time the priority, not the right dishes and the right food. Today, we very much live in that same way. The same time pressures exist. The same tensions between task and relationship distract us. The same personality conflicts come between us. The same clashes among family members over priorities still occur. This is a story from 2,000 years ago that Luke recognized, was so important Because it's human nature. We all look at things differently. But he felt that this story was important enough to write down. And because he did, it's a story we're still looking at and reading and going through today. Because times have changed, right? Families may look a little different today than they did then. Jobs, cars, life, the world has changed in 2,000 years. But we, in our core, are still just as human and still make just as many mistakes as they did then. Priority is always going to be something I think that we struggle with. Sometimes priorities, we go through cycles in our priorities, right? I'm in a crazy, weird cycle right now. So Andrew was my focus. My world revolved around Andrew and has for a very long time. And then things here changed. And I needed to change with that. And so I'm grateful that I have a person at home who can allow me to change my priorities in a way that makes the church right now my priority. You're my priority. That was a choice that I made. I'm glad I made it. I would make it over again. Thank you. Somebody in the choir loves me. So, I have that opportunity that somebody at home takes up the slack for this priority that I can set kind of aside and work on this. And we all have lives that we're constantly, priorities change, right? But that doesn't mean that I just, this one over here. What it does mean is that when I get the moments to be all 100% here, I'm here. It's still a struggle. We talked about it on Wednesday. One of the things that I share with my Wednesday night people is that my biggest thing is that I always feel like somebody is missing out on some time with me. Because if I'm here, then home is missing out. And if I'm at home, then church is missing out. And if I'm somewhere else, then everybody's missing out. Right? And we talk about that. And I think we all live into that in some form or fashion, right? Trying to figure out our priorities. Trying to figure out how to be in the moment. That's why this sermon was so hard, because it's such a struggle in my life. And how can I tell you this is how you're supposed to do it when I haven't figured it out yet? Right? If anybody in here has figured it out, come on up. Anyone? Huh? Nobody? So we're all in that struggle. And some days we're going to be like Martha. And we're going to be running around, and we're going to be making sure that the Bible's just right, and the candles are there, and the cross is the right color, because this is blue, so that has to be gray, and those have to be gray, and they all have to match, right? And then some days, we're just going to come in, and we're just going to be merry. And we're going to enjoy, and we're going to live in the moment, and we're going to say good morning to everybody, and we're going to talk, and we're going to make eye contact. Because on that day, we're going to be more like Mary, and we're going to be more about the relationship. Vicki does beautiful work on that. That's awesome right there. One song came to me last night. I was going over and over, and this song popped into my head, and you're welcome. I'm not going to sing it. So, but I'm going to read just the first part of it, And you'll have heard this song. It says, "My child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way. But there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away. And he was talking before I knew it, and as he grew, he said, 'I'm going to be like you, Dad. You know I'm going to be like you.'" Skip. "My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, 'Thanks for the ball, Dad. Now come on, let's play.' 'Can you teach me to throw?' I said, 'Not today.' 'I got a lot to do.' He said, 'That's okay.' And he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. It said, 'I'm going to be like him.' Yeah, you know I'm going to be like him." Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, "Son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while?" He shook his head and he said with a smile, "What I do really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later. Can I have them, please?" I've long since retired and my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, "I'd like to see you if you don't mind." He said, "I'd love to, Dad, if I could find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids have the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you." As I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you coming home, son? I don't know when. But we'll get together then, Dad. We're gonna have a good time then. Stop. Today. Be in the moment. Take the time. Be in the moment with God today. Pick a moment. Pick any minute. You got a bunch of them between now and 11:59 tonight. But pick a moment. And be in that moment. Live into that moment. There's only one. Be in the moment with